I told you to buy $1 worth of Satoshis on Monday, and now it's at an all-time high. Where do we go from here? And how do you know that it's secure? Come watch. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. My name is DaVinci Jeremy. I'm in the pipe 5x5, staying live here in Dubai. Hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. Oh, man, it's an all-time high on the weekend. Beautiful, beautiful. 125K for Bitcoin. It's an all-time high for Satoshis as well. 0.00125 was the high, right? That's in Satoshis, how much it would cost you to buy one single Satoshi. Less than a penny. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's take a look at that chart, right? That beautiful chart. You can see it went a little bit higher, of course, because the liquidity is a little bit low, and some people bought it up to 125, almost $600, but that's okay, right? They're still going to see higher prices for sure. Now, I want to talk about why this is so secure. Hey, you know what, DaVinci, why should I buy this and trust you? Isn't this like against the law, right? This one person actually tweeted this out, and you can like get in a lot of trouble with that, right? Holding other people's money. Yes, you're right. Sure, you're right. However, it's decentralized. And let me explain how, right? So if I were to die, right, you can go to this page, right, and swap your TSATs for TBTC, right? Right now, the total amount of TBTC locked in this contract, it's approximately, 2 Bitcoins almost, right? And you can see that, right? If you just copy this contract and go to the Sol scanner, right? And you can see that you can't send any coins to that kind of address because it belongs to a smart contract, and it won't let you. Now you might think, well, hey, DaVinci, I have to go to this website. What happens if the website goes away? Good question. Good question. That's why if you head over to the About page and you head over to GitHub, this whole website and everything, the smart contract is here. So you could program your own program to download to get your money, or somebody else could download the whole website. The website's here, right? It's right here called Dashboard. Install it, set it up, and be able to access your own money, right? In fact, I've done that already, right? I have the whole website running internally as well, and it works perfectly well as it was on the larger website. So no worries, right? You are guaranteed your money, just like you were if Radium were to go down. If the website Radium were to go down, there is a way to actually go and access Radium. You just go over to Jupiter, because Jupiter has access to it, right? That's it. You have to pay more on Jupiter, but it has access. Right? And there it is. That's an example. Soon, one day, someone's going to program, right? For example, Jupiter might take over and access this directly, so that when you want to buy TSATs, it just goes to this application on Solana. That's it. But that's in the future. Hopefully not right away, because then this there's no point, of course, in this, right? This has zero value, right? Because then you can just easily when you go from Solana to TSATs, it will automatically go through this application over here and get you your TSATs, okay? But that's in the future, right? And right now, the way I profit from this is through fees, right? And those fees will go away, of course, right? As soon as Jupiter realizes what's going on, they'll be like, yeah, we're going to get that money. That's the problem with decentralization, right? It has to, anyone can make money from it, right? Not just me, right? It's just because I'm first to develop it and produce it, I will benefit first. And then somebody with more skills or has better access, better technical, better, user interface, right? And people use them. Well, then they will, hook themselves in and suck out some of my capital too. It is what it is. I'm willing to accept that because it's not the main goal. What is my main goal? My main goal was to get you guys into Satoshis to get you into Bitcoin. And, you're like, well, didn't you get into the meme coins? Hey, you were just a meme coin shiller. Yeah, I shilled meme coins here and there. Yes, I did. But the reason why I did that is because you guys weren't buying Bitcoin. And I realized that. And I was thinking, well, why weren't you buying Bitcoin? And then I realized, it's because it's so expensive. You think it's so expensive. And we keep telling you it's not, but you don't believe that. And so I stayed quiet and didn't tell you that I was building this. And I built this Satoshi, right? And soon I'll be building an off-chain system, right? So I don't have to worry about Jupiter taking my lunch. It's okay. They can eat it. No worries. No hard feelings, right? And so, yeah, I'm going to be building it later on. Well, I don't know if I'm going to pull it off, but I'm going to try. Right? So don't thank me or pat me on the back yet. It is just what I'm going to try, and I might fail. I might succeed. I don't know. But yeah, that's the plan. All right. So check this out. You can learn how to actually, buy TSATs here, right? Of course. And then you could just go over to, if you know how to do it, or you just go over to Radium and hit OK here. And then I'm going to just buy a little bit, right, for my soul, some 0.1 again today. And so if you do that, I'm going to have a little gamification, right? Because, the key to saving is to hold no matter what, hodl no matter what. And so I'm going to have a game later on built. Don't know when. Please, I'm not going to give you any time frame for that. Just going to build it, and whenever it happens, so that you can play and, against your other friends who could save the most TSATs, basically. Okay? And we'll just build that out over time so that you guys have a place to basically enjoy growing your wealth, basically. So that's what I'm looking for, growing your wealth. Now, let's take a look at some of their other questions, right? Why isn't TSAT's liquidity locked, right? That's a good question, right? Well, the way other meme coins work, right? If we were to go to this meme coin, for example, they lock the liquidity. But that means that what it means is that it grows exponentially. Let's just say this thing were to be successful. The amount of liquidity will grow inside there exponentially forever. What does that mean? Because there's a fee attached to any trades, those fees stay locked inside there forever. And when they do, they continue to grow. And they grow because even though you might think, well, it's only 0.25%, but that's an exponential growth forever. And you know what happens to exponential functions, right? You can't grow. It will actually wipe out every single token that exists. So if this had a hard cap, right, and most of them do, every single token would disappear from the trading. Basically, if you trade this on the Radium eventually, one day, every single token, because it would go to the fees locked inside Radium. There it is. Or Pump Fund or whatever you're using. And that's the key. That's the key difference, right? So we don't do that, right? We don't allow these things to, that's total slippage, man. I should drop that. Jesus, save, right? Try to keep that as low as possible so that they don't sandwich attack you. But yeah, that is the reason why they can't lock them, because it doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of capital, right? And it's real money being locked. Because I had to buy those TSATs out with actual Bitcoin in order to place it on the exchange here to make this possible, right? To make this trade possible, I had to just deposit it on Radium. There's no other way, right? Else it wouldn't be fair, right? So there it is. There it is, right? So that's how it works. Right? If there's, let's see here. What other questions that I've had, right? Did you know that BTC and TSATs hit an all-time high? Yeah, we talked about that. I'm adding liquidity, right, over time, right? I'm going to be adding a lot of liquidity for TSATs. So if you're interested in buying like $10,000 worth, which probably you're probably at a point where you probably should buy some Bitcoin, right? And that's okay. That's okay, right? If you want to do that because, you know, you like to see, 10 million or 12 million, what's it called? Satoshis? Well, it'd be less than that. Actually, it'd be like 8 million or something like that. Yeah, 8 million Satoshis instead of like 0.08. I can understand that. I get you. I get you. It does make you feel a little bit more wealthy. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I created this, right? It makes so much sense to do things that way, doesn't it? It makes you feel like you're growing your wealth, right? And so another question is that I get a lot is, why is it 26 billion market cap? Well, because there's 21 trillion tokens out, right? If we head over here, right, the fact actually explains that, and you can see that's why we get such a high number, right? Almost 26 billion here. But the real actual market cap is how many tokens out, right, times the price, right, which is almost $250,000, $250,000. That's the true market cap. But that's real money. Unlike other cryptos, like for example, if you take a look at a meme behind, that's not quite real money. Why is that? Because it's not pegged. You dump a lot of this token down, and then all of a sudden it moves very, very fast. You sell a lot of these tokens, and so a lot of people have massive amounts. That's it. Price drops. You can't do that. You can't do that here. You don't have enough Bitcoin. Or Satoshis, right? You can't. Right? And even if everybody sold every single Satoshi, it still wouldn't affect the price, right? Or everybody bought every single Satoshi, the price would not, it would have zero effect on the actual Bitcoin price because people are trading in billions now, not in the millions. Billions, not in the millions. So, with that said, right? That's why we see a huge market cap here. Okay. I think that's all the questions I'm going to explain to people because, you know what? A lot of you guys really like this new concept, right? And I appreciate you guys for coming and buying this because the only way for this kind of volume, to see this kind of volume, is that you guys see it, the value in it, and buying it. And I appreciate that. And that is why I built this product, so that you guys can actually own Satoshis and feel like you're gaining something from buying Bitcoin this way. Let's move on to the charts. Wow, again, what I said before, if we break above the 124, we should be moving fast to the 130-ish area, 133. We'll break. Well, it looks like, thank goodness we've done it. I didn't think it was going to happen, but they probably just painted the tape. That's why there were so many people shorting up here. It looked like we're going down, right? According to the chart analysis. But, you know, when you're dealing with billions, you can paint the tape any way you like. And I had to realize that, right? They painted this, right? To get certain people out of the market. And that's what they did. And they accomplished that, right? Because, I mean, you saw what the fear and greed was down here and here. It was like 26, right? It was horrible. But that was a scam. That was a big scam, right? When we were down at 109 and 106, fear and greed was like collapsed. We were like, oh my God, it's game over. Just walk away. I saw videos after videos and articles after articles of short. That's why there's so many shorts up here. But yeah, even though I saw articles, I had to agree because it was like there was lots of evidence, right, based on the charts that this was not good. We had lower lows, right? Lots of lower lows, right? And so it was lots of indications that things were not as rosy as we'd like them to be. But we took off. That's all good. Looking at Solana, yeah, it topped out exactly at the well, not exactly, close to the 238 as I was suggesting, and it's holding this trend line, so that's good. A little bit of sideways action, and we'll see how this breaks out. If we can just get to the 238, that's it. We're breaking out the next level, which is the 250. Finally, looking at, look at all that uppy move, right, on the 4 hour for Ethereum. Ethereum looks the same way. If we break out above the let's see here, what is that price here? $4,619. That's it. All great, blue skies ahead. Blue skies ahead. Look at that, beautiful. We're headed straight to the 4777, and then break out from there is who knows where. And I think we'll go a lot higher on Ethereum. All right, well, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.